That was Valentine's Day 2014.
2015.
Sorry. That was February 14th, 2015.
2016.
Yes, that was Valentine's Day
2016.
2016.
Hello. Hi. February 15th, we woke up and we went
on February
to the workshop.
15th, 2016, I encountered my second true love. Bebe is obviously number one. But number two is the workshop.
So it's 27Q1. It's on the third floor. So it's back that way.
So we need to look for well, it could be an entrance inside another building, like the Pho place.
Yeah, it says 3F.
Third floor.
Q1.
All right, so this is 40. Let's look for another address. So that's 39. So it's going to be over here. Maybe it's across.
I think it might be across
the street.
Yeah, because
The workshop is a mecca of coffee in Ho Chi Minh City. Those people are hardcore. Props to them.
We were in Ho Chi Minh City for about 4 or 5 days total, and it just missed. Every week they do like a roasting meeting, and they had like come together as a coffee shop. And on our last day, they were doing it the day after, and
they invited us to come do the tasting.
Yeah. So the manager's name was Quint. Something like it was. So he wrote it down for us, and it looks like Quinn, but he had us like we went back and forth where we said it wrong like 30 different times in a row, and he was like close enough. Something like Quinn. We went back so many times that he eventually came up to us, chatted with us, and told us all about like their sourcing and their roasting process. And they had some beans that were sitting on a tray in the window, and he was explaining that they were experimenting with that, with sun drying them and just seeing what different flavors they got out of it, doing that method. And it was just really fascinating. This guy is so passionate about coffee, and it was just so much fun to talk to him.
I really love going to a place. It doesn't matter if it's food, coffee, tea. The thing that I appreciate the most is going to a place where people are truly passionate and invested in what they do. And the workshop in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam is one of those places. Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
It was a lot of fun. The coffee was excellent.
They're my people.
They are your people. I'm glad we found that one right away because we got to go actually every day that we were there.
Yep.
Then we walked 2 miles to Banh Xeo 46A, which is the name and or the address of the Banh Xeo shop that we decided that we had to go to based on the TripAdvisor reviews. That was the number one best place to go.
So Banh Xeo is, I've had them in the U.S. and I never understood the point because they just weren't good.
Those little bags yesterday?
Yeah.
Those are $50.
The ones on the ground? Yeah. Oh, how'd you figure that out?
I spent like 2 hours
researching little bags of yellow liquid.
No, well, so it's weird that it was so yellow, but places back there.
Oh, as like a condiment?
Yeah, normally it's like
So I've had Banh Xeo in the U.S. at Vietnamese restaurants. I love Vietnamese food.
I'd never had it in the U.S. This was the first for me.
And it wasn't good. It didn't make sense. Like, they always call them Vietnamese pancakes. Some place it would be Vietnamese crepes. I mean, they would always say Banh Xeo on the menu, but that's how they would describe them. And they weren't very tasty. So, I always ended up getting pho or occasionally something stir-fried. But, so we went to this place, Banh Xeo 46A, and they were greasy. Probably it was like the whole order of spring rolls that I ate that was really the problem. But I ate a lot of food that day.
We were hungry.
And so this is another instance where if we had been smarter, we would have taken a cab. Mm-hmm. And so we were walking on an east-west street on like a 90-something degree day in Ho Chi Minh. So the sun was like beating down on us. And so we were so dehydrated by the time we got there. And like the Banh Xeo there is fantastic.
It was great.
It's very greasy, but it's fantastic.
So Banh Xeo is sort of it's like an egg and tapioca flour pancake, and they fill it Crepe? Well, yeah, it's like a thin, sort of like omelet crepe pancake along those lines, and they fry it up, and they put pork and shrimp and bean sprouts and scallions and like a couple other toppings in it.
One of the big differences in Vietnam, you were given a huge basket of greens to
Yes,
eat with the
I
banh
forgot
chao.
about that.
So the bulk of what you're eating is not actually the banh chao.
It's the banh chao
like
that you
the
eat
greens.
with the greens. So it's not like horribly unhealthy or
And
anything.
so I gotta say, like, we didn't eat the greens, which was probably part of why I had a grease over while we were eating it. The other part was the spring rolls, which were fantastic.
We were told to generally stick to bottled water and try to avoid things that had been washed in water that might have microbes that we're not used to, so we wouldn't get sick. So we did try to avoid uncooked vegetables and fruit.
And this place was off the beaten track.
But apparently it's well heard of, because I know a few other people who have been there. But you have to trek to get to it.
Yeah, it's like you go halfway across the city and down a little alley, and then it's there.
We saw a lot of different aspects of the city on the way there. I remember there was a really big pink church that we passed, so that was really interesting. So it was a fun walk both ways.
Yeah, no, I don't regret. I regret the temperature during the walk.
Yeah,
and
I think we got a little bit sunburned that day.
Yeah, so like the fact that it was like a perfect east-west street was not helping us.
Because there was no shade.
There was literally no shade. Like nowhere
we had hats
could we
on,
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats can only take you so far.
Okay.
But the banh chao was fantastic. So were the spring rolls.
So you ate a whole banh chao and 6 spring rolls. I ate about half a banh chao and maybe 2 spring rolls. And I was good to go.
I don't think that I ate 6.
I wrote down that you ate a whole banh chao and 6 spring rolls. So.
Okay, so basically I took all of the water and replaced it with grease. And it was good grease.
Good, though.
I would love to eat that again.
It was so good, though. I crave it sometimes. So good. Yeah. Okay, so we went back to the apartment to digest. And then we wandered about a mile to a new part of town to drop off laundry. And we went to a place called Laundry F5, and so we had been traveling for about a week total, just including like getting to the airport in New York and flying and everything.
So this is very important, and we showed this in an earlier video a little bit, but we were traveling light by the standards of anyone who knew how far we were going and, you know,
so we were taking. So we were gone for about a month, and we had 2 backpacks and a carry-on. We were trying to travel really, really light because we actually had, we had 10 flights over the course of the month. So we went to go do our first laundry out of the trip. And we dropped our laundry off at F5, and she gave us a receipt to come back the next day. So that worked out pretty well.
And so we actually stressed out a little bit about laundry options over the course of the trip. So the hotel would have done our laundry, but like exorbitant prices per item.
Right. So the two different pricing structures for laundry were that you either had a price per item, and it was like, you know, like $1 or $2 or 50 cents for smaller items, or you had it per pound, and it really made more sense to go per pound. And then you could like pay more per pound for extras, line drying versus machine drying, and for like scents and softeners and stuff. But it was just a lot more affordable to do it all as one package. We probably paid like $10, not like $5 or $6 maybe to do our laundry each time we did a load.
Yeah.
Which I think was 3 or 4 times throughout the whole trip. And then it probably would have been like $50 to have the hotel, which is a lot. In the grand scheme of things, it's a lot. So we walked back through the Ben Thon market.
Yes, I didn't really find much there.
So after we walked through that market, we went to another temple spa. We went there for a foot massage, which was super, super awesome. We got the 90-minute foot massage package, and that was just 90 minutes of them rubbing on your feet, which was amazing.
You will learn things about your feet on a spiritual level that you did not know.
People talk about like muscle memory and how like so there's like muscle memory of that you do something enough and it get, you know, you remember it, but then there's muscle memory of like memories that get embedded in your muscles. And as she was rubbing on these tight parts of my feet that had never ever been massaged before, I was having like these random memories of like when we drove through Virginia to get to Bonnaroo, and like my brother's college graduation, like things I had not thought about since they happened. And I was like, why am I suddenly thinking about this random memory I have? And it's exactly that. It was so crazy.
And I'd say it was more for me in Thailand, but like I have very muscly legs, and my calves completely changed structure. Like After the massage.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I went from having like have a lot of muscle bunched up at the top to like being more even.
You wanted to do that foot massage like 3 times a day the rest of the time we were there, and we probably definitely would have done it again, except the woman who was massaging my feet actually sprained my ankle.
She was a trainee.
Yeah,
and we didn't realize this until after the fact, and she was so afraid because the poor thing, she heard the crunch.
They were so I mean, so they did like ankle stretches as they did it, and she was just too enthusiastic and too fast, and I just wasn't expecting it. And she did sprain my left ankle, I think, and then I was nervous when she was working on my right ankle because I was like, please be more gentle.
Yeah.
But other than that, it wasn't too bad, and other than that, it was a really really nice foot massage. And then we went back because I didn't want to walk that far. We went back to Huang Lai for dinner, and then an exhausted, limpy walk back to the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, Huang Lai was still about a mile.
Probably like 2/3 of a mile away.
Yeah, and you were being a sport.
Well, it did, yeah, like
I go that far.
I've sprained my ankle before, and so I kind of knew, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this has happened. It didn't start hurting that much right away until the next day.
And I mean, we were really worried because we had like 2.5 weeks left at this point.
Right, but in terms of like accidents that can happen when you're traveling, it was not too big of a deal. Wow, that was February 15th. Okay, so too big of a deal.
Yeah.
I'm resilient. I can handle it.